We're all going Golden State Los Angeles here. WinDailySports.com, the NBA DFS play-in game preview show. It's getting a little bit long now that we're in the NBA playoffs, but we are in the NBA playoffs. And I guess we'll start here real quick. I was excited going into these games. I got to admit, yesterday wasn't great. Yesterday wasn't fun. Washington was okay. I'll give it.
Yeah, it was okay. I mean, we kind of talked about that a little bit. Boston did what we thought they were going to do, and Tatum did what we thought Tatum was going to do, and Washington did what Washington always does.
Definitely did. It wasn't a great showing from Washington. First half was okay, but you kind of knew throughout that game something doesn't look right. Something looks a little off with them.
Yep. It's that for some reason everybody else brings a little bit more defense, and they just don't bring it, and it hurts them. It hurts them, and Westbrook gets a little bit too fast and makes too many mental errors, and that's how that stuff compounds.
So we're going to go through both the DFS and betting side for tonight's games. Two more play-in tournament games: Memphis, San Antonio, Los Angeles, Golden State. And you told me immediately before, right as we were about to go on, like as soon as I hit the go live button here for the NBA DFS preview and sports betting preview stream here at WinDailySports.com. But you said San Antonio, Memphis, not great. Basically is what you told me. You said the pricing was a little bit weird. So what is it about this game that's off a bit?
No, the pricing is low. The
pricing is low. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's actually going to be where a lot of my targets are going to be coming from. Because if you look, I mean, on the San Antonio side,
we have three 10K players on the entire slate, and three of them.
And then the highest price guy on San Antonio is $7K with DeMar DeRozan.
That is weird to see.
Yeah, I mean, Lonnie Walker's 4.3, Rudy Gay's 4K. They got guys out. It doesn't make any sense. It's the higher total game. It should be the higher paced game. It should be the closer.
Yeah, why is that weird? Because Murray's a 6,300 player, and he's been way above that for towards the end of the season, at least he's been way above that.
Mm-hmm. And then you look around and you look over on the Valanciunas side. That Valanciunas on Memphis, he's only 7.6, and he's put 5 straight games where no less than 46.5 DraftKings points. So it just doesn't. It doesn't kind of jihad with what we should be expecting. So I'm probably going to be pretty heavy on this game personally.
Yeah. So this one, where are we going to go then? I mean, I guess if the values with a lot of these guys, it means we're not really going too far down here. I would say, are we?
No, not really. I mean, I'm going to live in the mid range, which is pretty much everybody. You can kind of take your pick here. DeRozan's going to take, 26 2-point shots, tonight. And you got DeJounte Murray at 6'3". That's criminally undervalued. Even a guy like Dylan Brooks, especially if Grayson Allen ends up sitting. Jonas Valanciunas is somebody that I absolutely love tonight because he had a little down streak where he was playing less minutes, but a lot of folks forget he had that concussion. They were trying to bring him back into it slowly, and now he's clearly back to full health, and they never priced up based on his performance and what his workload will be. So Jonas
Valanciunas, and we're sticking with the mid range. Is this one you're gonna? I know we try and have to be different on a slate like this. So is this the one where you're just mixing in a bunch of mid-range guys through different lineups? You just kind of try to find different combinations here.
I think I'm going to live in the mid-range a lot. Yeah. Now, if I do play a high-priced guy, especially in the late game, I'm going to go ahead and go with Mr. Glass. Go all the way up to AD and run him. Because you
just call him Mr. Glass. That's not right, man.
That's been my nickname for him for a while, for years and years and years, man. I love that. I love AD, man, but he gets
He's
hurt.
An NBA
so
champ
often.
now. You can't say that about champs, all right?
Yes, I can. Hey, look, I love you, AD. If you happen to come across this is not
If
personal. I know you're a
if you're
champ.
listening to this before the game today,
yeah. I know everybody wants to come in here and listen. I know that's what you're doing. It's okay. I don't take it personal. I still love you as a player. You're a champion. Now it's I'm probably going to stay away from a lot of the Lakers Golden State. The Lakers are full health, and the Golden State and LA are actually two of the slower paced teams and two of the actual better defenses in the NBA right now. And LA's healthy, and people forget exactly how good that defense was during the first half of the year, and that was before they got Drummond. I don't see any reason for it. I might get a share or two of Steph in there just because nobody's going to be able to guard you from half court if you're making it, and he can shoot it from anywhere. So I'll have a share or two of him, but I'm probably going to stay away from LeBron tonight. If we were talking about
is it because a little bit of the fact of the ankle, or is it just a 10K and it's likely going to be maybe Anthony Davis that gets involved here a little bit more?
I think it's going to be. Yeah, I think it's going to be AD that gets involved more. Yeah. And LeBron's shown as he's especially gotten a little bit older and a little bit smarter, and he knows he's got to take care of his body. He's not scared to facilitate and just dish out assists and score his,
take a step back in 21.
Yeah, he doesn't
take
a
step back, but he doesn't need.
Yeah,
to
he's not on.
Put up
yeah,
30,
he's not
40.
On Cleveland. Yeah, he doesn't have to do it anymore. He's actually got talent around him, so he doesn't have to do all that stuff. A win's a win. It doesn't matter how he does it. He gets a ring. That's all he wants. So, yeah, I'm good with personally just being way underweight on LeBron. But potentially just staying away from him altogether. I'll be way underweight on Steph. If I do any of the high price guys, it'll be AD, and then I'm just going to live in the mid range with a lot of the San Antonio and Memphis players.
I like some good doo-doo.
Good doo-doo.
Yeah. So so you said so you said you are going to mix in Steph Curry. I mean, how much? How much are you going to try and at least a lineup or two? Because he is one it's going to try and put up a ton of points in this game. But is that enough? Again, the pace and good enough to warrant the 10K, basically.
Yeah, I'll have him in 20-25% of my lineups. Nice. It's not going to be way underweight. I mean, it's underweight for a 2-game slate, but and then LeBron probably won't have him at all, and AD I'll 4 or 5 of my lines, probably half of my 10 lines. So
for living in the mid-range, anybody in the mid-range for Golden State and Los Angeles, I know we're not going trying to get too much from this game, but I'm just trying to figure out the spots where we are trying to pluck from. And Theo, not happy, I think, with the LeBron fade. Basically, don't say it. Fantastic.
Love you, Theo.
So are we living in the mid-range a little bit with Golden State, with Los Angeles? Not living there, but at least what are the few names that we can pluck from this game that aren't, in the 10K range?
I always find Wiggins interesting when he plays against LeBron, just because of how he came into the league. I think the little revenge narrative, so to speak, where, he pretty much snubbed him as soon as he got drafted when he came back to Cleveland. So I think there's always something in the back of Wiggins' mind, and with Oubre out, he's been playing good ball. It's just that defense, like I said, that defense scares me. It really scares me, being full health and having all of that size there, and it concerns the hell out of me.
He's worried about the Curry fade. Whoops.
No. I just said
That's
underweight.
Not complete fade. Yes.
Yeah, underweight. I'm not fading Curry.
Yes.
I am not.
So let's make that clear before we because Curry has won people a lot so far this season. So I get there is going to be no way you can fade him. But yeah, it's not complete fade. It's just not probably as much as we're used to, I would say.
Yeah, and and it's got less to do with Curry, and it's got more to do with the fact that I really like this mid-range stuff going on with Memphis and San Antonio. Curry can drop 60, 70 DK points on anybody, any night, any time. It's just if there is a team that's going to be able to slow them down, it's going to be a full-strength Lakers team.
Yeah, so let's go back to that Memphis-San Antonio game, because I imagine there's going to be questions about that and everything. So Kyle Anderson over J.A. I'm imagining that's Ja.
Let me see here. Let me take a look.
Morant is 8,300. Is that one, again, he's not particularly mid-range. He's one of the higher-end mid-range players, you would say, the 8-3. So is that one that even you're kind of going away from?
I could say go ahead and go with Anderson over Ja if it makes your build fit a little bit better. You know, I do like Ja, and I think he can do plenty tonight. I just think there's going to be a lot of those guys in that 6 to 7K, and my builds are going to be extremely balanced tonight. And so I do like the idea of having Anderson over Ja if you're just going for a strictly keeping it between 55
right, because
and
obviously
7,000.
Yeah, Ja is almost 3K more, and that 3K, meaning you're probably going to have to go down here a little bit more, which you don't want to live near. You want to live right around where that Kyle Anderson price tag is, 5,300, and you kind of want to live, it seems like live around there for the most part.
Yeah, and it looks good. It feels like it's a good structure tonight.
So is the move to load up on game one? That's obviously we've been talking a lot about San Antonio, Memphis, and that one is the game you want to pick on more here. But does it mean completely? I mean, just stay within this game.
Yeah. I know you're going to have to get some pieces from the late game, but I will have a lot more of these San Antonio and Memphis pieces than I will on the like my Lakers and my Golden State are going to be my fill-ins. I'm not going to be running stacks on that game. Let's just put it that way. I'll get guys in where they fit.
You're gonna pluck guys from that game where you can. So what about Dre? That's an interesting one, just because obviously Draymond doesn't really put up a lot of points, but obviously
he does
everywhere else. Exactly, does go everywhere else. But is this a tough matchup to kind of do that here?
It's really tough as their primary guy, do it all guy to try and battle Drummond, Davis, LeBron underneath. That's such a tough thing. I am gonna have some of them, but do I feel really great about it? No, but I mean it's a 2-game slate. You're gonna have to make some concessions. I mean we all saw how far the scoring dropped when we went from the end of the regular season to the play-in for the playoffs. You saw the points go from where winning scores were 420, 430 points all the way down to 320 points, 330 points in a matter of 48 hours. It's just like that. Once we switch over, everything changes.
All right, so let's go a little bit to the betting side of things, because I think there was pretty much about all we can do for DFS. Again, only 2 games, obviously, so not much. And it seems like for you, it was pretty focused this time of just living within that San Antonio, Memphis mid-range pretty much. So let's go here to the betting side of things. How about that? Memphis Grizzlies -182 on the money line. The Spurs +155. Grizzlies 4.5-point favorites on the spread. Why am I? And I know, look, this is just sort of off of gut and off of things that really, it's hard to put any substance on, because it's, I think San Antonio just has experience and they are ready for this kind of game. And if you look yesterday at Charlotte, it was a little inexperienced. That doesn't show up. I'm afraid that maybe that happens to Memphis here. I don't know if I should be. I think they're clearly the more talented team, even though San Antonio does have a couple of nice pieces, Murray, DeRozan, all of that. Obviously, Memphis won a lot more games during the season, and I think they're just the better team. But do we factor in that little bit of experience and the fact that they have guys that have not only won in the playoffs, but a guy like Greg Popovich, as well as a coach who has obviously won plenty of titles as a coach?
That was actually going to be, if you want to put any weight on anything, put it on Pop's experience and whether or not he can go ahead and scheme around the guys. I mean, Memphis has some playoff experience. It's not a lot, but I mean they do have some guys on there that have that have seen a little bit of time in the playoffs. But yeah, I do like the fact that if anybody is going to be able to game plan around the Grizzlies, it's gonna be it would be Popovich, and they do have enough pieces to be able to win the game.
Yeah. So I think the Spurs, at +155. I'd rather go there instead of trying to put that much money line or even spread. 4.5 is not too much, I guess, to cover, but I think this game's going to be close. And And I do think the Spurs are going to have a chance to win it. And they have obviously the experience and the coach that can help them get there. Now, this one is the interesting one. We've seen this spread go up now to 5.5 for the Lakers are the favorite. Minus 230 on the money line for the Lakers, which you're not going to touch. Golden State plus 185 on the money line. I love what Steph Curry has done. This is maybe a little bit like Washington, where you have a couple of great players. And look, Draymond Green's great. Steph Curry, obviously, as we know, should probably be in the MVP discussion and maybe end up winning the MVP. I said that for Ghost, not because I actually believe it. I said it for a guy, Ghost. He believes that more than anything. But he's been playing at an MVP level. Steph Curry has, and Draymond Green's been playing well. But then you look outside of that, and this is a pretty bad roster. It's remarkable where Steph Curry has gotten them just by himself. If the Lakers are somewhat healthy and they're at full strength and LeBron, AD all playing in this game, I hate to say crush. That maybe isn't the right word, but this team should, if a little bit healthy, should do extremely well against this Golden State team.
I 100% agree with you. I don't think the Lakers are getting enough consideration for how long they've had players out. And they were a 1 or a 2 seed if everybody stayed healthy this season. I don't think they're getting enough consideration as far as that goes. I mean, they've been steamrolling teams for a season and a half, and then all of a sudden they had a string of injuries and they dropped down into the 7th seed. I don't think people are thinking about that enough. If they are full health and everybody can go, or full enough, and they can run their full allotment of minutes, I'm with you. I don't want to sit here and say they're going to steamroll Golden State. It just feels strange saying that, but I think it should be a fairly comfortable win. And that
fairly comfortable, as in 5.5 point cover type win for the Lakers.
Yeah. You like 6 to 10 points sounds.
What do you
like
think this would have been? What do you think the spread would have been if fully healthy? The Lakers were fully healthy and they ended as a number 1, number 2 seed, as you just said, which I think they were well on their way to. This are probably close to what, 7.5, 8 point spread? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I was thinking
that's
8.
What I mean.
Yeah,
I think it would be way up there compared to where it's at now.
Yeah, and I just don't think people have adjusted to that yet. And I think once they see them play full health again, they're going to be like, oh yeah, that's what the Lakers were all about. And I think we're going to see a little glimpse of that tonight. I mean, like I said, Curry can be Superman and score 50 real life points, and they can still lose the game. It's just like we said, it's just like the Washington scenario. You're very top heavy. They've got Draymond, they've got Steph, and then Andrew Wiggins, which
not the best. Wiggins, all right. All right.
I mean, he's
a great off the bench player. Maybe could I say that? Is that all right?
Glue guy.
Glue guy. There we go. I love glue guy. Glue guy is one of the best. So we got a little question here from a guy, Glad. Would you go Brooks, Braun, or Curry? Can't get to AD, or Morant, Jure, or Wiggins and leave 800?
Can't get to Cade. I can't get to AD. Yeah, in this scenario, go ahead and go Brooks, Curry.
Nice.
I like Brooks Curry there.
In that game, if you were to rank, I guess, the 10K players, seems you're ranking as AD, Curry, LeBron here.
Yep. AD, okay. Curry, LeBron.
So yeah, if it's not AD or can't get to AD, then Curry would be the one instead of LeBron. And I very much agree with that. Or Morant and Dre or Wiggins. I mean, kind of if we were to, I know this was a either or for that, but just kind of with the Dre Wiggins question too with Morant. If somebody was to go with that one.
I'm not. You see, I'm not in love with anybody else on Golden State besides Steph, just because of how stifling that defense is. So I don't like. I'll like I said, I'll have a player from Golden State maybe in my roster, a Laker, but I'm not going to run multiples. That's just not where my builds are going to take me tonight.
Love it.
Hey, look!
Look, this goes right. I am clipping this. You have seen it. We've been clipping things. We post on our Win Daily Sports account at Win Daily Sports. We'll put it on Facebook. We'll put it everywhere. If Curry drops 60 tonight, Theo will get the biggest shout out of shout outs here. I will clip all of this. and we'll put it at windailysports.com if Curry drops 60 tonight, which, I mean, could happen, but I don't.
Yeah. It's definitely in the range of possibilities. I mean, he can score. He can.
No, he can.
They can lose by 10 plus. So.
But if I was a betting man, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Theo. See, we'll give you a shout out if it happens. We'll do it. In tournament preview show, previewing the 2 games for tonight. Hopefully better action than yesterday. I think we're really in for some good action today. Especially Golden State, Los Angeles. Those numbers and viewing numbers will be through the bleeping roof. It's going to be insane. Yeah. Going to be insane. It's a great rivalry, so can't wait for it. But lineups lock in just about 30 minutes or so. So make sure you're in the chat. WinDailySports.com. Stoweby will be in the chat. Ghost, if he wakes up and is going to be alive to do it. Ghost will be. I know he's still hurting a little bit from the second shot. So he'll be in the chat if he can be. But there will be plenty of others in the chat as well, helping you set your lineups. And look, even if it's for golf, PGA Championships tomorrow, lineups lock in the morning. So get in on the PGA Championship. We'll have our DFS gurus there for check out all of that. And Optimizer cheat sheets. Check out the cast, all of it. WinDailySports.com. And you can do it for Major League Baseball as well. Obviously, PGA, NBA, all of it can be found there. All right, we'll be back tomorrow with more of the NBA DFS preview show here at WinDailySports.com.